Back in early 2002-2003 area, there was a redesign of M53 developed, and that was to make what had been a single lane north and south from 27 Mile Road North into 2 lanes north and south, and I'm sure you've all appreciated the outcome of that. During that time, at the developmental stage, there were a lot of meetings held to try to decide where the ingress and egress would be, where the entrance ramps, exit ramps, intersections would be. And of course the state and in the county, in a limited access highway, which that was intended to be, would always want that to have as few as possible. Of course, with the Ford plant expanding and the number of people that worked there and the difficulty they had coming and going during the day, we knew 32 Mile Road was going to be important to them, so that was sort of a given. The opportunity to get into the village downtown obviously was a big portion of that thought too. Everyone agreed on that. Originally, it seems that beyond that one, there was really no particular discussion as to where the rest of them might be. And there was very little discussion on it until Washington Township, rightfully so, concluded that if they had no access from the south end at, say, 28 Mile or the old Van Dyke Business District branch to 32, would mean that if they had a car wreck or a car fire that occurred anywhere on M53 in that 4-mile stretch, it might mean them having to travel a couple miles south and then a couple miles north, or vice versa, to make that rescue attempt or to extinguish that fire. So it became pretty clear that that was too long of a stretch to have no access. Thus you see the Michigan left, like we like to refer to them, at 30 Mile Road by the Buick and the Chevy and the Ford dealers down there to allow people in. It's been very helpful, and I think we're all glad that occurred. But it really occurred more as a response to emergency service, which we all understood was necessary. As those meetings progressed, more opportunity for people to participate in those discussions took place. I was not at them. I'm not trying to be critical of anything that occurred at that time. I'm basically giving it to you the best as I've been told. But what we do know is that ultimately the 33 Mile Road intersection, which had existed before, which would allow you to go onto McVicker or in the alternative to go east onto 33 Mile Road, was eliminated. There used to have been a turn there when it was a 2-lane road. Ultimately, the decision was made to put a bridge over 33 Mile Road and eliminate that access from M53 to 33 Mile Road, or in the alternative, west onto McVicker. And as best we can tell, there wasn't a real argument to do it any other way. What occurred as a result of that was an industrial park that was on the master plan for Bruce Township that exists on 33 Mile Road essentially from McKay to Powell, and it expands a little beyond that, but that's the area we're focusing on. It was basically landlocked, excluded from freeway access. And if you think about it now, in order to get there, you have to either go east on 32 to Powell, north a mile on Powell to 33, and then perhaps as much as a mile west on 33 to get back. The alternative is to go up to 34 Mile Road, go east to McKay and south on McKay to 33. It's about 3 miles from the freeway to, for instance, to Clark's Landscaping from either one of those directions. Very inefficient. If you take the moment to go out to 33 Mile and McKay, you can literally see that you're probably less than 1,000 feet from M53. So that 1,000 feet became a 3-mile tour. It became even more of an inconvenience for our residents because now any trucks traversing west on 33 Mile Road have to cross the bridge because they can't get on the freeway. They end up on McVicker, a 25-mile-an-hour zone with stop signs and school children and bike paths, and then ultimately go across Gates in front of our township hall and have to make a very hard left near Mellon, Van Dyke, and Gates. I hope this all makes sense to you. To get back on a southbound Van Dyke, and if they were really intending to get to M53, they have to go south to 32, make a left in the village, and go through a lot of areas that 53-foot trailers were not really intended to be. So you can see how this all became a huge inconvenience. It made our industrial park inaccessible. without a lot of inconvenience. It made for a very inefficient use of other roads which are required are getting heavy truck traffic on that they never intended to see. And it made our park less attractive to developers. In that interim period, our industrial park property owners put in a better road in anticipation of this development. They put in sewer. Our township invested $6 million to expand the Romeo wastewater treatment facility to provide sewage to that area. All of that occurred just at about the time the gate was being closed and there was no access to that park. So what we've been trying to do, and this has been I think a tremendous undertaking with the help of an awful lot of people. Dick Schaefer came to me back in December, he's our industrial coordinator, and said we need to put water in. The three things you need are the road, the water, and the exit. The water is going to go in. We've already met with Detroit Water and Sewage. We're very proud of that accomplishment, and we expect certainly within the next 6 to 9 months to have water flowing on 33 Mile Road in that industrial park exclusively to that area. Without the ramp, that park becomes a very well-equipped place that no one can get to, at least not easily. This ramp is something that the easements were already purchased for because at one time they expected to have an exit there. The easements are there, the design is there, the property is there, certainly the desire is there. Well, Don Brown, our county commissioner, who's been just worked tirelessly on this, and I can't say enough good things about his efforts, has been working with us very closely. Pete Lund, our new state representative, and his chief of staff, Eric Ventimiglia, have been very hard working for us. We have the support. We tried a stimulus application through the governor, and it was rejected. Not without a reason, not an answer, just rejected. And it's impossible to predict why that may have occurred. We just know the money's not going to come from that source, and without the money we couldn't have this ability. We have a $50 million medical campus that wants to go on the corner of 33 and McKay. We have the potential of putting a 300,000 square foot development of a new industrial building in that area. All of these depend on road we have, sewer we have, water we have, and they need that ramp. So we have now met with Andy Dillon, the Speaker of the House. I've met with MDOT, I've met with the Road Commission, I've met with Ted Wabi, who's influential in the road building in here in Macomb County, our county treasurer. And now we are about to meet, perhaps with the end of the line, hopefully a positive one, in Lansing in September with the Michigan Department of Transportation. We've had all kinds of help bringing our message. What we need to do now is convince the decision makers. And if this occurs, it's going to be much better for our town. It's going to be better for our neighboring towns. Romeo Village's industrial park will be more accessible. Armada Township's industrial park, Supervisor John Patrick, wonderful guy, become a good friend, has given us a letter saying, wishing us the best and endorsing the idea. The Romeo DDA, if we can keep those trucks out of the village, will that be better? Of course. We have support from every angle except the people that can actually say, move ahead. And we're working in that direction, and we're excited about the possibility, but even though I consider myself an optimistic person, I realize that it's very easy for people to say no. But we're not giving up, and we're continuing to try. I think we're running out of avenues to take, but I think that's because we're reaching our intended destination, and that be Lansing, Michigan, talking to the people that can make this decision. We'll keep you posted on it. This is going to be good for our township, good for our development. If you think about it, a $50 million medical campus that will employ 700 permanent jobs are people that at some point in time are going to decide, we hope, to want to live closer to where they work. They're going to shop in the village. They're going to shop on 32 Mile Road. Maybe they'll buy one of those homes that we're trying to sell here in the township or in a neighboring area. They're going to spend money in town. They're going to bring their kids to our schools. And all in all, I don't think you can measure the potential here if this is allowed to occur. We need a few $1 million and a thumbs up for a ramp,